Also known as the 9/11 generation and the Echo Boomers, we are roughly defined as being born between the early 1980s and 2000.
Our lives have been garnished with more technology than ever before. This abundance of technology has multifaceted positive and negative effects, and it's important to take into consideration how this affects the way that we communicate. My name's Morgan, and I'm going to be talking about the positive effects of technology on our generation.
And my name is Chloe, and I'll be talking about the negative effects technology has on our generation.
To put into context the abundance of technology on our generation, here are a few milestones. The 1990s ushered in a multitude of new technologies that then shaped the technological landscape of today. JPEG and MP3 files were first created, Windows 95 was first created, and Java and Wiki, the building blocks of today's computers, were also invented.
In 1997, telecommuting became an option as broadband was developed. In 2001, Apple released the first iPods, and in 2002, the first camera cell phones were distributed. From then until now, laptops and tablets have been mass distributed so that web accessibility is widely spread.
What are the first things that you think of when I say the words the internet? For me, I think of social networking, Netflix, online shopping, things that I generally associate with wasting my time. That's what parents always say, right? Teenagers these days are always texting or tweeting and generally wasting their time on their phones, never looking up at the world around them. I disagree with this statement to an extent, but more so I think that it's important for us to learn how to effectively use the internet and technology as a whole so that we can enrich the lives of ourselves and the lives of those less fortunate than us. Let me present a scenario to you. Look at this picture. You see some teenagers in an art museum looking at their phone. What do you think? How do you feel about this? I think most people would look at a picture like this and think, oh, typical teenagers on their phones when there's these amazing works of art around them. But the picture is much deeper than that. These teenagers are at the art museum in Amsterdam, and they're actually using an app created by the museum to help them enrich their museum experience. When this photo was shared, adults responded incredibly negatively without first understanding the whole picture. I think this is a prime example of how most people don't really grasp the entirety of the educational opportunities presented by the internet. Sure, we know that we can, not do research on an encyclopedia and now we can use Google, but it's more than that. The internet provides resources beyond raw textual knowledge that no other medium can possibly provide. I think that not many adults are aware of things like Crash Course by Hank and John Green, which is an online, free, YouTube-based medium that allows students and even people who have no other access to information to really learn and be enriched with information. Programs like Khan Academy allow people to delve into their information, and teachers even use it now. Beyond education, I believe that philanthropic opportunities are really presented by the internet too. Crowdfunding websites like GoFundMe or Indiegogo.com are great examples of ways that people give their own money and time to allow the others that may be less fortunate than us opportunities to better themselves. For example, James Robertson was someone from Detroit who had to work 20 miles away from his house, and he didn't have enough money for a car. He walked 20 miles to work and 20 miles from work and was at work every single day. This is a picture of him after he got his first car. He raised $230,000 to get this car through crowdfunding, and that's through the power of the internet. So if we really tap into the philanthropic powers of the internet, we have a lot of opportunity to make a difference in the world. Lastly, I think that people like to talk about our generation and say, they're so self-centered, they're so narcissistic, but social media provides a platform for real social change and a way for us to understand those around us that we never could before. Twitter and Tumblr and all other social mediums, while they might get overused, provide an opportunity for us to connect with other people in a way we never have before. Social justice and political change thrive on the internet, and a great example of this is the He for She movement by the UN Women, which was supported by Emma Watson. She started a Twitter campaign to understand women's rights all around the world for all women. And this was a phenomenal success, and many important people all supported this and created real change. And I think that it's important for us to understand that while we might waste all of our time on social media, there actually is some real depth to what we do there.
Just to put the presence of technology into context, can we get a show of hands of members of Generation Y in the audience who check their phone before they even get out of bed? A worldwide survey discovered that 90% of Generation Y checks their emails, texts, and social media before they get out of bed in the morning. The same study found that globally, 1 in 5 members of Generation Y will check their phone at least once every 10 minutes and change media platforms 27 times per hour. With such a prevalence in today's society, technology can have negative impacts in several ways. Growing numbers of social media can create a sense of connection between family and friends. However, but in excess, it can be dangerous. For example, someone who may find comfort in an online community may be missing the face-to-face interactions they can get in real life. They're sacrificing valuable life skills that the internet cannot provide. Technology also creates several patterns in our generations. One of the most noticeable examples is that during school, when there's any sort of idle time, you can look around and see that your peers have picked up their phones and ignored the people around them. This creates a chain reaction, which in then turn allows other people to pick up their phones, which further discourages conversation. This is dangerous to our generation as a whole. Another pattern is the lack of smartphone etiquette. When hanging out with friends, it seems as though some people cannot balance their conversations with their smartphone use. You can't help but wonder, does my friend truly value this conversation? These are the questions that we must ask as a generation to fully experience life.
In such a technologically centric world, it's easy to become overloaded with all of the opportunities that are presented to us. Technology can be an enriching, educational, philanthropic part of our lives, but finding a balance between your real life and your technology life is key to maintaining a healthy relationship with this technology.
Excessive use of technology can evidently be dangerous. We must ask, when is constant connection too much? Who knows what could happen when you set your phone down to look at the world around you?